Yeah.
Has anyone proofread it for you?
No. Could have passed it to John, really.
This is exciting, Cliff.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, YouTube.
Hello, everyone. If there is anyone actually there.
So a start. So just go for it. Yeah. So just
Look,
get the ground running.
Come on, he's getting in there.
Right, ready? This is it. Welcome, people, to Around the Console, the most exciting, thoroughbred Doctor Who podcast on a planet. We are going to look into the penultimate episode, this 6-part adventure of Doctor Who, The Flux. Tonight's episode, Survivors of the Flux. And I'm joined by my fellow geek and comrades, John, Bob, Suki, and Craig.
Woo!
Hey,
that was good.
3 times writing that. Boom.
Three times. What do you mean 3 times writing something? What, like you wrote it, then wrote it again?
I've written it, and then when I read it out before it came on, I realised I couldn't even understand my own writing, so I had to write it again.
I just think we
welcome to our world.
It takes at least 5 minutes to reply to any message from you. It's like deciphering it.
Did you handwrite it?
Yeah, I'd written it and everything.
Oh, well
with
done.
my pencil.
And everything.
Pencil.
That was great. That was great with your crayons. Well done.
Yeah. I'm the hostess tonight, as you
Hey.
might have not known. I might have known. And I've got some views already, but I'm going to pass it to you guys because I'm a gentleman. So we're going to go to Suki, the Mucky Suki.
Mucky
Sucky. Okay, I enjoyed the episode. I think this is the weakest of the 5 episodes that we've seen so far, but I did really enjoy the episode. As I was trying to explain to the kids earlier on, which you'll hear in the feedback, that it is setting it up for the finale. It's just getting the people together into the spots where it's got to be before the story actually finishes off. But other than that, I enjoyed Yaz and the Tectuin confrontation. What were you shaking your head for, John?
Tectaeun.
Tectuin.
Is it that difficult for everybody?
It is.
3 syllables?
I had to
guys.
write it down, especially so I knew how to say it.
Yes, by the looks of it, it's difficult for us, John. And I like the little group that Yaz has now formed with Dan and Jericho. So it was a good episode, but out of the 5 that's come, it's the weakest, I think, so far.
All right, Christine. And let's go to John.
Yeah, I liked it. I found lots in it to keep me entertained and to give me stuff to think about. But Suki's right, it is the weakest of the 5 so far. And I think that's because of that, the necessity of having to set it all up. So there were things pushed into areas that didn't feel like it was done in a naturalistic manner. So yeah, I really liked it. As I say, the first time I watched it, I wrote about 3 notes and just watched it. And then when I watched it on the second time, I started doing notes, and I've got fucking loads of them. So,
Oh, that's good.
yeah. So that's it. So overall, yeah,
Half a thumb for everyone.
it's a thumbs up because
Maybe because we've been blessed
up.
by blessed by such great stuff up to now.
Well, it is. It has to be a moment when it just sort of doesn't
Blows.
meet the other ones because it's got the limitations that it's put itself in place because of the 6-episode arc. But yeah, so I'm optimistically positive, but there are flaws that I'll probably point a few out.
Cool and a gang. Craig.
A little bit like Suki and John. This reminded me very much of episode 3. For those regular listeners, I was a bit cold after watching episode 3 for the first time, but went on to enjoy it when I watched it again. I actually enjoyed this first time more than episode 3. So for me, this wasn't the weakest of the run so far because I enjoyed it a little bit more on first viewing than I did episode 3. But my feeling after watching it again for a second time was I did enjoy it. Like everyone else said, it kind of, to me, felt a little bit bitty and a little bit, it suffered from too much jumping around, even though it told its story nicely. But again, you could see how it was maneuvering itself up for a finale. So I did like it. I thought there was some beautiful little bits in it, very creative. So yeah, it's a thumbs up for me. But it's just
with
part
caveats.
It's part of a bigger story arc, and that's how this story's always got to be viewed, I think.
Beautiful, Bob.
It's a tricky one, isn't it? Because it's part 1 of a 2-part finale. So it's
Is it?
Well, it is, yeah, because
I thought it was part 5 of a 6-part story.
well, no, officially it is, but it is it feels completely like part 1 of a 2-part finale. So
I get you.
so
I get
it's
you.
tricky to sort of until you see the part 2 or part 6 or whatever. It's tricky one, until you see it all together. But I mean, my issue is the last couple of weeks I'm weird, and I had to watch Doctor Who with other people in the room, and I fucking hate it because the talk and breathe and that, and it just takes me out of it. I've got to be fully absorbed. It's only when when it's brand new Who on telly, I have to be absorbed on my own. And if you take me out of it, that's it. It's gone. So I didn't really have much to say about it when I first watched it. I'll be watching the finale on my own. But the same with Classic Who, I can't watch it with anyone else because they'll laugh at it. You know what I mean? Like Muggles or whatever, people that are non-Who fans. If you watch Classic Who, they laugh at it.
Totally get you there. Ken always laughs at it when I watch it.
Yeah, it pisses you off, doesn't it? I just want to punch them in the face. But that's my problem.
Yeah, I was going to say that.
It's completely normal because they're laughing at some shit. Like that, my mate, I watched my old flatmate. He used to be like I was watching, like I'd be about watching porn, and I'd have like the Twin Dilemma on or something like that. Or he'd walk in and like he'd come in a bit where the angry underpants men in fucking, I can't remember which one it is. You know what I mean? And he'd be like, oh yeah, it's fucking brilliant, this, isn't it? Laughing his head off. Yeah. And it made me feel a bit ashamed and embarrassed to be a Doctor Who fan. I like to watch it on my own. I've only ever watched it once. That was with Craig. Yeah, but I've actually enjoyed it. So anyway, it's nothing to do with the episode, is it? I watched it again and then I really enjoyed it. But yeah, it's I'm looking forward to next week when it'd be interesting. I'm sure he will land it, but it'll be interesting to see. I mean, my favourite bit was the Grand Serpent. I think he's just phenomenal, and he's the master that I've wanted to see since Roger Delgado.
So he's the master then?
No, we don't know.
I just get that he's the master.
I'm saying, I know. I'm not saying he's the master. I'm saying he's the master.
All right. Okay. Yeah,
he's the master I've wanted to see in New Who. Not all these daft, crazy ones that are trying to resemble the Doctor. Is like a Delgado master, and because he's infiltrating UNIT and he's quite clever in the way he's doing it, and he's with these MPs and people like that. He's got a real sort of gravitas of Delgado's master, and I just love him. Whether he's the master or not, he's the master I've wanted to see on screen. But I love the UNIT stuff, and I love they did a proper sort of nod to the Brigadier that wasn't a fucking Cyberman, which was terrible. Just having that little bit of a snippet of the voice of the Brigadier in the background. It was just I didn't pick up on it the first time, but the second time. I nearly started crying. It was just like amazing. But there's loads of good stuff happening in it. Building up to a big finale.
And they had the what looked like the original building. What they used to use in
the computers
for the unit.
The computers were great the way they did that. It was like
cool, wasn't it?
The Grand Serpent
really
then.
enjoyed it.
Oh, hang on. We're going through everybody's introductions first.
Oh, sorry. I think because I missed me. Sorry.
Fuck off, Cliff.
Fucking hell. He's only the host.
Don't worry about control, guys. Sucky. What do you got to say?
But I thought I enjoyed it, but it felt that this is the point where Chibnall in his writing might have got told you got to condense this down from 10 to 6. It felt like he's trying to sew everything up too quickly. I like to see what happens at the end, but I'm actually hoping he doesn't cover everything off on the next episode because I'd rather him continue it rather than rush it off.
I think the specials will be the true conclusion of the story.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm hoping. But I love the special effects. I love the Tree of Life, which I think that's what was in the background of the division. Yes. I thought that was beautiful. I love this. I like the Indiana Jones type with Yaz and Dan and Jericho. I like the bumbling idiots, what they are. Yaz did quite well for once in her acting. I thought she did quite good. But all in all, I didn't think it was the worst as... Actually, it is the worst up to now. Yeah.
We're saying worst. We're
just comparing it to all the others. That's all. Yeah.
It's
still up there. It's brilliant.
It's difficult to reach the giddy heights of like the third and the fourth episodes.
Yeah.
I think
it harkens back kind of. It's got basically 3 kind of plot threads going on, which worked really well in the in the second episode. Was it second episode? Yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like pretty straightforward. You've got the Doctor and Taco Bell. What was she called? What's she called?
Syllables.
Bell.
Well,
Oh, do you mean Tectaeun?
yeah.
Taco Bell, yeah.
Taco Bell.
And you've got the Indiana Jones stuff going on, and then a bit of Vinda Bell, Casanova, you know what I mean, and all that going on. So it's cool, man. It's good. It was good. I'm just it's just got me excited for next week.
You know, I'm excited in watching. I know this is like more like the end of the pod, but watching it all together in one.
Yeah,
one
I
day.
think. See, what
Just
I'm
an
picking up,
appreciation of picking things up, what I might have missed all the way through. But this episode, I thought you had like 5 different events going on all at the same time. And I didn't find it confusing because it gave us a lot of backstory for each one building up to this point, and it allowed you to see the threads going through. And this is the point where they're all starting to interconnect, which is exciting.
Yeah, because we've now got Bella Earth, haven't we, and things like that. So they're all kind of beginning to focus back around Earth or joining up. That's how I'm seeing it.
Well, it is mentioned that the Earth is going to be the apex of the flux. So everything has to be centered on. So everything will be going there. I mean, as we've been saying, everything is now trying to set it up for. So you got like Bell and Carvanista together. You got Vinda and Diane together. The Doctor is now with Swarm and Azura, and Yaz and Jericho are now with Williamson. So these are all main characters that we've been seen in the previous episodes, all coming together. The only one that was missing, but is in the trailer, is Claire, and she's been seen as well. Go on, John. What was you going to say?
No, I was going to say that the problem is that they've got all these threads converging, and there's a certain amount of like it's cluttered. This episode felt a little bit cluttered. Yeah. I think they could have done happily with an extra 20 minutes in order to flesh out certainly the Tectaeun Flux.
Yes!
Not that hard.
Storyline. I think those scenes needed more time and more space. There was bigger lore things going on. We needed to see more conversation between them, and it was a little bit short-handed. And I think, likewise, I think the fact that you've got these 5 threads sort of coming together just means it's sort of not all of them were given the full attention they deserved or needed, probably. And I think that's the condensing what has happened. We've seen a little bit of the fruits of that here, but it's fine. It'd probably this is a necessity in order to get to next week's episode, which will have been written a million times, and it'll be fucking nice.
Hopefully, I was going to say there's the bit I didn't pick up on it. I only picked up on the first watch. Picked up on the second watch was when Bell's gone to that sort of Star Warsy looking thing. Yes. I did pick up on the fact that Swarm and everyone was there, and so she would have been literally about to meet Vinda, because that's where Vinda had gone to, was that thing, and obviously she got taken away. I didn't realize that was there.
He hears her go, doesn't he? He hears that. He says, "Oh, someone's in a rush to go," and
I didn't pick up on that the first time round.
Is it? I don't know if anyone else saw that. Is that Galfrey?
It really reminds me of it
because it had the
dome and everything.
The dome,
Gallifrey.
No, I know, but I mean, it's like, is that? I didn't see anything archaeologically.
No, I didn't. But the fact that it just came out like this. That's all I thought. That was
you mean like the remnants of the Citadel?
That monstrosity.
The Citadel, yeah.
As soon as I saw it, I thought that's the Gallifrey dome, but it was in ruins, wasn't it? Or was it being ruins or in construction? I couldn't quite tell.
Ruins with the Flux, I think. And that was quite clever. I mean, because it was quite cool. Bella got grabbed, nearly met Vinda. Then Vinda oversaw what Swarm and Azor were doing in passing, like putting these people into
passenger.
Well, no, it wasn't into passenger. It was into the
batteries.
Yeah, like batteries. What was going on there? I kind of couldn't pick up on that.
They were using them as time energy, weren't they? So that they could get over to.
But was it?
Yes. Was it Rabbit?
Go to
division.
Right. Okay.
Because that's what she said. She goes something like, "Oh, we're nearly there. We can meet her or whatever." So they were using their energy to move across.
I didn't get that bit.
Yeah, the place where Vinda was and Swarm and Azura is also something that Carvanista recognised, because when he was calling back the ship, he says he did say, "What is she doing there? Why is she there?" Right, so it's like a place he must have known about, and he's thinking, why is she there?
The whole thing has got very careful one-lines that if you miss, like you said about, because I didn't hear the Brigadier the first time, and I didn't actually spot, like you just said, Bob, the fact that they virtually missed is only because Matt said, "Oh, they nearly missed each other." And I was like,
"Yeah, I didn't get it."
And then I heard it the second time. I would never have twigged that had just happened.
Well, that was the part that I felt was contrived, was him saying, "Oh, somebody's in a hurry." That wasn't very subtly done. So I think there's more.
Went over my head.
Yeah.
But just so I want to understand this, if that's all right, because you guys seem to know. So you've got the batteries or whatever, if you like, that Swarm and Azor are using. People from passengers being capturing these people to use as energy.
Yeah.
To find the vision. What's that about?
Division.
Oh, division. I thought they said vision.
No.
Did you see? And also that division thing that is in the middle, in between two universes.
Yes.
Did you see how it was framed?
Yeah.
You had the
Yes.
one universe, and in the middle.
I didn't twig that the first time.
It's the division sign. Yeah.
Oh
my God! So it is. Yeah.
Okay. And did you? The reason in our little
John's too good for us, isn't it? Really?
Wasted on you fuckers.
In our little WhatsApp group, I asked what the circuit thing was that the Doctor kept working on in his John Pertwee era, and you guys came back with dematerialization circuit.
Now, if you look at that, it's okay. Sorry.
It was you, Bob. Okay. Okay, Bob came back with it. Right. So did you see, if you remember the familiar sort of shape that was a dematerialization circuit?
Oh,
isn't that very similar to that spaceship?
It is, Sucky, now you say. Yeah.
So it's like a massive form of a
dematerialization.
I want you to say dematerialization without messing up first time, so you go.
Dematerialization.
Then I want Cliff to say Gallifrey without messing up.
Gallifrey, yeah.
No, that wasn't right.
That'll do.
And one thing I've noticed is, so just at that point when they was going up to see Tectoon, just about that point when they got the batteries, he does say we're going to see her again.
Yeah, well, they were the ones that. They were the ones
because she released them up there. So
she released. I mean, that's what he says. He said you released.
That's in episode one, wasn't it? I'm assuming it's her in episode one, right back at the beginning when he's in the cage and it's her that's manipulating and freed him.
Yeah.
So this is the whole thing's turned around now that he killing her is like this is the story where it's just stopped for me because I was like, well, what on earth are they going to get out of it? The whole thing's going to explode.
I'm not sure they are yet. Oh, go on.
Right. I've got my theory here as well. Right. Now she has admitted, Tectoon, that she has released a Swarm and Azure, all right, into the universe. But
Did you call her mum?
No, she called them poison. Now you don't go around releasing that sort of thing unless you have an antidote yourself. Right. So I have a feeling that she has got something under her skin to be able to make sure she's not affected.
Absolutely agree. That's what I thought.
Something that she herself has released.
Is the Doctor the antidote?
It was too easy, too convenient, and her death didn't have any particular value to us.
I agree,
because it hadn't been set enough.
Yeah.
So I think, I was thinking that as well. So
that'd be why they need the Doctor.
She's not really gone.
She's got.
No, I don't think she's gone either. A bit like when they're going to passenger or whatever. I think she's just gone somewhere else, maybe inside the house or something like that. Is what I'm beginning to wonder.
Oh, there'll be some shenanigans somewhere.
Oh, the house. The house.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The house. The crooked house back again.
Yeah,
it's all to do with the fob watching and memories. And I love this. I love it.
That to me was awesome. The watch looked 3D at the end, kind of really pulling you in as it dismantled or whatever. I just thought that was great.
Tectoon might have gone inside the fob watch as well. So she might just the memories inside the fob watch of Tectoon might be reviving her.
Do you think we're going to get the memories next week?
Yes.
Do you think?
Some of them. I think some of them. I don't think you'll get all of them.
Because I love the way the Doctor said, have I been one? I've been 100, I've been thousands. So this is what fans are saying, isn't it, almost? She was asking those questions. Are we going to find out how many lives the Doctor has had? And it could simply be that the Doctor's literally had just a few lives. Although thinking back to the Timeless Children, you saw lots of clips.
Saw loads of kids then, didn't you?
Yeah.
The Timeless Children, there might be more than one of them. So, I mean, I'm thinking Is the other one the Grand Serpent? I don't know.
Yes, I don't know who the Grand Serpent is.
He's a time traveler. How is the Grand Serpent a time traveler?
There's been little hints all the way through. Like Vinda knew about the TARDIS.
Yeah. So he's that culture is probably mired in that.
Exactly. Yeah. So it could be some connection. It could well be a Time Lord himself.
And there's the whole kind of like when Stuart was saying to him, how long has this taken you? Is it just a day? No, he's not aging. So he's clearly popping into different times, right? From the formation of UNIT, down to the 80s, then to 2017. He's in and out. So he's got to be time traveling because he's not changing. So
it reminded me of the Doctor Who, the movie, right? Yes. With the little serpents and snakes.
Yeah.
And that had a connection to that, and it makes me think so much that there must be it's something to do with the master, not a master or something of him or a connection of him.
I have to say,
so far back.
I have to say, the addition of the master to this story or in this 6 chapter series would be a mistake. I think.
Yeah,
I do. I think it's best because he's almost got another Time Lord name. We've got Master, Rani, Omega. You've got Apprentice. And that's stuck with it all the way through because you'd never call someone Apprentice when they've been there working for like 15 years. And they've gone with this, haven't they?
Apprentice.
Yeah, that's what I thought it was, Apprentice.
It's Apprentice, which is Serpent.
Oh, right. Oh, I've misunderstood that. I'll shut up. In that case, still a Time Lord name. It's the same thing, isn't it? Still just one word thing. Same thing.
I loved. Like I said earlier, the Grand Serpent and him nipping in and out.
The unit stuff was brilliant.
Yeah, and I just want to. I can't. So he's basically just been infiltrated to let the Sontarans in.
Yeah.
At this point, because he obviously knows what's going to happen because he's from the future, kind of thing, which is awesome. And I just can't wait to sort of see more from him. He's my favorite now of the villains, of the baddies. Like I love the Swarm and Azura and that, but I just love the Grand Serpent.
Yeah,
he feels like the biggest threat.
He doesn't overact.
No,
he doesn't have to.
Cool as fuck.
The bit where General Farquhar actually dies, he's there just pulling up his sleeves, like I'm thinking, that's a cool villain.
Like Delgado. Again, I keep coming back. He's got that sort of Delgado coldness, but a slight bit of warmth where people kind of do like him. You know, when he's doing this, and he fits that sort of pompous fucking military civil service kind of thing as well. You know, of that time. What do you think of Kate Stewart coming back?
I'm never that sure on Kate Stewart, to be honest.
I'm not either.
I always feel she's a bit distant.
There's a lot of people out there that fucking love her. Damage Kate. I mean, I don't understand how you bought into that Kate that much, but
I mean, only because she's Lethbridge Stewart's daughter do I have any sort of love towards her. But she's just all right. She's a bit bland.
The Stephen Moffat creation feels a bit shallow. In terms of her.
I've always found her acting a bit stilted, a bit weird in the way she does it. Right, and it doesn't just come across as somebody that's really in charge of a big military scientific organization.
If I was Prentice, if I was like the head of unit and time traveling alien genius bad guy, I probably wouldn't put a bomb on Kate's door that beeped for 10 seconds.
That's funny, wasn't it? But I think she got away with her part because Osgood was so fabulous when they were paired together.
Yeah, but that's who I miss more.
Yeah, I do.
They could have been.
You're getting her next week. You're bound to get her next week.
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
So when she's on her own, she just feels like there's no passion in her voice. So she doesn't feel authority. When she was talking to the Grand Serpent, I didn't really get any kind of threat from her.
It's like she's just reading lines.
Yeah. It looked like she was going to cry.
No, I don't think she's that bad. She's certainly not as bad as Dan when it comes to shit acting.
Oh my God.
But she's doing it understated. She's doing it statesman-like. She's doing a statesman-like performance. So she's not going to be expressive or lose her thing. So I get why she's putting it that way. It's casting no aspersions on the actress.
Yeah,
she's perfectly good at acting.
Forget about the actual performance. The actual scenes that she has with the Grand Serpent. That was great. The way she actually stood up and says, "This is the way I've been brought up. My family has helped start this organization. You're not going to take it away from us." And the way she says, "I'm going to make sure I'm going to take you down." Right.
The
Those
camera,
scenes were great.
the camera was panning dead slowly around her as she was talking, and it was like a really good, intense face-off across the table with this guy, and it was I think it was a really well done scene.
I hope there's something about what she's done in these last 3 years. Then, so that's 2017. I hope that they show what she's been up to. You know what I mean? 4 years. Yeah, I can count now.
I love the way she went going black or whatever.
I think if it just means a going out of it, it
dark.
doesn't mean. But if she comes back with this other side of a separate unit, like Torchwood style, you know what I mean, and she's been able to pull this together to help him at the end, that would be good. Like the Charge of the Light Brigade or something.
I think that we had literally 3 weeks ago. Charge of the Light Brigade.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but I think Kate's. No, we're not going to. I don't think we're going to see much of Kate's. What's been going on, but also likewise, I think we're going to get a time jump next week where she's like all the business of her becoming like the defender of Earth that she's going to be is skipped over. I don't think it's that important, to be honest, in terms of the story.
Well,
I kind of hope not, because that's just.
So, yeah, I do agree. I agree.
I'll be honest with you. Next week worries me a lot.
Yes,
but I can't do anything about that because I've not seen it yet. It worries me because he's brought in Sontarans, Daleks, only from what I've seen.
Yeah.
Fucking Cybermen.
Throwing everything in.
I don't think they're going to be in it a lot. I think they're just going to be.
No, but my worry is that we've seen it many times before, particularly in New Who, that they fuck it up in the finale. And either by not doing anything or doing too much. But there's nothing in this so far that's to say that's going to happen. But it's just been from previous experience with New Who, particularly
wary.
Wary.
I agree, but I don't think it is the finale. I think that they might close off parts of it, like the Flux or whatever, but leave the timeless child element to travel through. So that's what I'm hoping will happen. So because that's my word. There is too many things.
Yeah, there's too many stories to chop up, dot the I's and all that type of thing. I'd rather them spread it out because you've got these specials coming.
Yeah, I'm assuming they want the New Year's Day one to be pretty much standalone because they'll have a whole new captive audience on that, and I think that'll be a missed opportunity as well. But I also don't want the specials next year I don't want them to be so separate like they did with David Tennant, when it's like, what are you doing? Just silly daft ones. I'd rather them continue this journey to the eventual reincarnation. My worry about that was what I'm hearing a lot is people are struggling to understand this story. They're not. What I hear is I'm liking it, but I don't think I get it.
Watch it again, then.
Well, exactly.
Yeah, but you've not finished the story yet. It happens next week.
That's it.
But I think because it's weekly, the nuance of it disappears. You have to remember, we watch it twice. We talk about it for about an hour. We take notes, so we really digest it and get to grips with it. Whereas a lot of people that I kind of chat with that our good fans will just say, I'm not quite sure I'm getting it. They do, but because it feels disjointed, like we've all said, they're worried about it. If they spread this over 3 more specials with, let's say, 3 months in between each episode, I think people might tire of those storylines or even lose the thread of it completely. Yeah. In some ways, I think
you'll have an underlying thread with a plot.
It's an ambitious story.
Oh, I absolutely love it, and I think in some ways, had they done Torchwood Children of Earth night after night, Monday to Friday or Monday to Saturday, it would have been better dropped as a box set or whatever. Because it is when you can watch it.
It will.
Yeah, but I think for the casual viewer, it's quicker together. They would have got the storyline closer.
The problem is that this isn't for a casual viewer. This is for fans of Doctor Who. This is for proper people who are understanding the lore of Doctor Who. Chibnall is doing this for him and to make his mark on Doctor Who lore and canon, isn't he? So it's a serious episode. It's not a fly-by-night, shitty little 50-minute episode where nothing particularly interesting happens and it's a bit shit.
No, definitely not.
Story. Yeah, we're getting a magnum opus here from Chibnall.
He's opened up so many doors and avenues of where they can take lots of different stories in the future.
But what is going to happen though?
I have no idea, which is actually the beauty of it, isn't it?
We'll leave it to the end. Go on.
Yeah, leave it to the end.
Yeah, well, when Cliff just said about the doors, now you've got all these doors in the chamber at the back end. Obviously, one of them is going to come into play, and the one that's going to come into play is the one that says "Do not enter Death Rays" and all that.
Number 9,
Number 9.
Door.
That's the one that everybody's going to go for. Now, what I'm going to ask you, think back to the first episode and the TARDIS was suddenly manipulating doors left, right, and centre
Oh, shit.
all over the place.
Yes, it was.
Good,
Right.
good works.
Good one.
Right.
Oh yeah.
These are
Fire
all
tonight.
my
He's on
ideas.
fire.
These are
Oh,
all
Are they
oh,
really?
I'm
Are
not
they
trying
really
to
your
sit
ideas?
around.
No, I am.
Honest-
Are they
they
really?
are
That makes.
I am
yeah,
going to give you.
That's
I'm like,
awesome.
these are all my
Yeah.
ideas.
I don't believe you.
Is they shut up? They. I have a feeling that Williamson character has somehow managed to get an essence of a TARDIS in those tunnels where these doors are now opening up to different times and places. Right, whether it's the TARDIS, our TARDIS, the Doctor's TARDIS, because that was dying, is there in the tunnels, is another thing, or it could be another TARDIS altogether.
Williamson, I just want to mention him, right? He's great. I really like him, but he reeks of League of Gentlemen style character, which I love.
But it Charles Dickens as well.
He's just so full on exaggerated the way he is, and that I love it.
How dare you, sir?
But he sort of sits out of place a little bit, with everyone else. Yeah. But I love him. But it's proper legal gentleman kind of stuff. I love it.
The one there, the scene that really stands out for the Williamson character, really, is the one where Dan goes up to him and he gives him a slap. Right? Oh, you scout, so gives him a slap. Oh, you ghost, I should say. And then, but when Yaz explains the situation and the relief on his face when he realized somebody else understands, right? I think that's where that actor really came to the front. I mean, he's just been playing, as John said, playing an exaggerated Dickens character, but now, when you realise somebody's there that can actually help him.
Well, it's been a long time. It's been a long time since
he's been frustrated.
And whatever he was involved in and whatever he's doing, it's at last it's coming into a culmination.
And we've mentioned it. It's been a lovely little thing every week, hasn't it? That we've mentioned him and we've not known it. He's been mysterious, and now there's a bit more there.
That's one of the criticisms of this season this series has been
great.
It is good, but it's like, oh, what are they doing here? What are these doing here? But everybody always complains when you do a full story. Oh, that wasn't seeded. But he's seeded everything. He's been meticulous every episode to get loads of things in. So we're going to enjoy the fruits of it next week.
Just on that scene that you mentioned about when they meet Williamson properly in the tunnels. There was Amanda Gill. I just saw her as a real. She was great.
She's done really well.
Fucking brilliant. And there's a little bit where she goes, "Oh, Dan, I didn't know you were from Liverpool." And it was kind of like the real her coming through. And I was like, "Yes, that's great."
She was fantastic in this episode. She was like,
"Oh, she was."
I love what they're doing with her character because she's doing her hardest to take on the Doctor role. She wants to be the Doctor. She loves the Doctor. Let's face it. She's in love with the Doctor. And she's also properly, what would the Doctor do? And this is her interpretation of what the Doctor would do. And it's been proactive, it's been helpful, it's been insightful, it's doing all these great things that the Doctor does. And she delivered it perfectly this week. The tone was great for that. The letdown for all that historical Tomb Raider stuff was Dan. A little bit for me.
Well, because you had Mandip Gill on her absolute pomp. You had Hugo Lang, whatever he's called, in this. Like, he was awesome. And when you said last week about Jago and Lightfoot, John, he was really bringing that to this. I loved it. And they were really strong. Williams was really strong, and Dan's just a bit. It's just his limitation.
He doesn't deliver his lines well. He opened the doors and no one's here. He didn't actually go through and look. It sounded like he was reading a script.
It's like the kebab line as well, which I thought the kebab line was potentially quite funny, but it kind of just fell flat when he said, "I was nearly a kebab," because it wasn't delivered. Yeah. I thought it was great to see Jericho back, I have to say. I was really excited when he fell down into the pit. It was like, I'm really glad they've kept together as a three.
I like that little comedy elements, what they put in. Yeah. And I do like it when they go up to see the hermit guy as well.
Oh, that was funny,
comedy moment.
Yeah.
I think those little, the seer, or as someone says, Sucky. But
that was really funny. It was really funny.
It's really cleverly written. I thought it was fun. And and we've got to think we're watching a family program. So when you're doing things like that, it's got good elements. And then they've got like typical Indiana Jones style with the fighting, with the guys coming in trying to be there as a waiter. Loved all that. And then you got it interlaced with what's going on with Jodie. And I thought Jodie in this was probably one of her best performances. Her expression on her face, where it's like shock and horror, when she's realizing about this woman who was the woman who brought her up. And then you can also see a frustration of trying to understand what should she do. I'm sure at one point, very cleverly, when she's saying to her, "Do you want? You can keep Earth and your friends, and you can still have your memories, but come with us." You can sort of see it just gloss over for a moment that, I probably could.
There's a scene right at the end, just before Tectowin is actually killed. Tectowin is actually killed or disappears. She actually doesn't want it to die, right? Because this is the woman that's actually evil person. Well, what the hell is going on? The YouTubers are having a blast there, you know.
Tectowin is evil. No doubt about it.
And she normal circumstances, she wouldn't have batted an eyelid if somebody had killed her. But because she's her mother, she's there shouting, saying, "No, don't do it." So
I don't think she wants to see anyone die. Even in most of the Who's, even the evilest villain, he wants to give him a chance, doesn't he, of mercy. And this one got the biggest connection with being the person she grew up with as a stepmom.
But she doesn't know. She doesn't really know much about it. She only knows a glimpse.
But you can see that in her head. I thought that was really well. That she was like so confused in that moment. She was not understanding what was going on, and I thought that was really portrayed really well by Jodie. This season is amazing for Jodie.
It is as well. I like the fact you got a quick resolve as well to her turning into an angel, and I really like the way it was done. So obviously she was captured, and the way they brought her in. It was a bit,
the soundscape on that was
cool, wasn't it?
Brilliant.
Yeah, it was great.
But I like the quick resolve straight into the story, and just for that little bit as well, like when this is what it's like to be in an angel's head, and then it was just her being brought in this strange way across.
And it gives a whole hierarchy, doesn't it? Because we've now got the kind of the rogue angel, we've got the transport angels, we've got all that going on. So you're getting an insight into the structure of their society. They're no longer just that single angel that we saw in Blink. There's a whole bigger organization going on behind the scene, which I really thought was well created, actually.
I did like the fact as well that they brought, because again on my second watch I got this because I was too busy gushing in the unit bit with the computers and the Brigadier's voice and all that. But the TARDIS being there, now it confused me at first because I was trying to think, Devon Village. Does
that mean I've got it?
Well, no, it's from last week.
Last week.
But is that not Pertwee's?
No, this is what I thought, because I was like trying to think, because it's
of course
it's 70s 80s, isn't it? Pertwee's not in real life, but in the show it's kind of meant to be 70s and 80s. It's her TARDIS that they've got from a different village in 1967,
and that's why
which is bringing the TARDIS
from last week. Whereas I went off straight away to Classic Cube. John Pertwee. So it might be John Pertwee in the TARDIS, but he wasn't in the TARDIS. He was here. And the Devon Village, is that from the Android invasion? I was going all over.
That's where my brain was going.
But it's not. It's just the TARDIS from.
And then they mentioned the post office tower or something. Oh my god, it's Hartnell.
War Machines reference.
That's what I was thinking.
And I was just going all over that, thinking he's just drenching it, but it wasn't. That was last week. I eventually worked out on the second one.
It does tell you the day, the years, doesn't it? 1967 England, and last week's episode it was set in 1967, so that's where all the TARDIS is from.
That being like little geeky Who fans, and you had them little references. You was looking for everything in that little section, I think.
I liked as well. I know we've kind of talked about the Grand Serpent, but I liked the way that we know he's time traveling, but we also know that he's not only trying to do the deal with the Sontarans, but I like the way they had him kind of chasing the three, kind of, Dan, Yaz, and Jericho, because he had all those adverts with the snake tattoos and things on their arm. So he's clearly got his following as well, hasn't he?
That was like a million sort of bonds.
It was.
And the scene, like in the train as well, when he's kind of, Dan was under the bed, that's where I sleep. 1 lump or 2 as he hits Jericho. I thought it was all really cleverly done. Again, the fun humor.
It was
coming
fun.
Through.
And that's what you need in a family TV show. Stuff like The Seer, like the stuff on the train, the Indiana Jonesy style stuff, and I thought it was great.
Which I always thought. Oh, the dog.
Affect Your Dog, I thought was absolutely genius.
I thought that was silly. worked.
I
but
loved it.
especially
Well, then he
that
goes
he
to the
looks
Great
at
Wall
it
of
and goes,
China. Yeah.
It doesn't make
I
any
don't
sense.
even
He
count time
could have
travel.
worded it differently. It could have been find your dog rather than find your god or something like that. It could be in a word play.
I think
But
the
it could have been
Fetch was the
anywhere.
God thing,
Didn't
wasn't
have
it?
to be in
But
the wall of China.
I do think a couple of times in this episode the humour fell a little bit flat.
Mainly with Dan for me.
Mainly with Dan, I'd agree, but also with that seer scene, it was a little bit contrived. And the other scene that I didn't like particularly was Jodie saying "tough crowd." It sounded very like it sounded like a scripted line, and it felt like it when I was listening to it. But it was one of the very few Jodie
with the fetch your dog bit. Now, I'm trying to work out the point in that. So obviously they've done this big thing on the Great Wall of China, which is great, looks amazing. Carvinista's seen it, but he can't travel through time. So what's the point? I know we'll probably find out. We'll find out.
They didn't know that.
We'll find it.
Well, the Sontarans can travel through time to a point, can't? Because they went back to the Crimean War.
I'm asking like what. So it'd be obviously next week. Hopefully, something will come of it. If not, it's kind of like just a big pointless exercise.
As I say, something must come of it because the entire bit of like the side quest for the companions. Bit. I don't think that'll amount to fuck all, to be honest.
No, I don't think that'll do anything.
Just a way of keeping them out of the way for an episode whilst they get stuck in the right place.
And adding the humor. Yeah, I think that's what's going to happen. I think somehow they've planted the seed. Calvinists will come and collect them and take them to where they really need to be. I think
to be honest,
they might not have to be collected because they've got the doors in that chamber. One of them.
One of them could walk right through.
Yeah.
I did think though, when we was going to review this, we first switched it on Sunday to watch it live. Like I thought this is going to be just a Doctor episode. It's just going to have snippets of the others. So I was really impressed that they was able to pull loads of different storylines in it. Because from last week, from the Angel, and you're thinking, right, the next one's going to be deep into the realms of what's happening with the Doctor. I enjoyed it because of all the different connections, but I really wanted a bit more of her and the division.
I think that's next week. I think that's next week. That's the thing. Right. The thing, and I do have a problem with division as well, a little bit. The whole concept of a secret society is
what's never been seen before to now.
What's never been seen before till now, exactly. And what's to stop there being another secret society that's behind fucking the division? When does it stop? It's like fucking Russian dolls.
It's the Illuminati kind of thing, though, isn't it?
It is exactly that. Yeah.
Which is,
but you can't play that card often.
Yeah, that's what I mean. That felt a bit flat to me. The division thing at the moment.
Retconny. It felt retconny.
Yeah, and it didn't feel like I was like, oh.
It didn't feel a big imposition either because you only saw one woman and a nude in a building.
Yeah.
They didn't feel like a massive threat to it. It was almost like, what's the point? They're just moving from one galaxy to another. It was quite talky. There wasn't a menace in the division that I think there should have been. That was a weakness I thought.
I don't know if
at this point.
The whole concept of a mysterious thing that's been doing all these things over such a long time.
Yeah.
Yet no evidence has been found, even by the Doctor. Yeah. They're a little bit stretching the imagination.
They've got the facility to be able to wipe memories. Right, so
I know, but you have to be very good to avoid,
or even destroy planets. Like they could just get rid of things left, right, and centre.
But it's the way they were talking about how they interfere, not always for the best. Or the moral question is what it is, and I think that was really good for the Doctor because that's obviously the way her prime directive. I kind of thought, well, if that's what they're doing, they are interfering, they're deliberately manipulating. Then she is going to have come across them before.
Yeah, it's difficult to hide that much.
Yeah.
If they're so massive as Tech2 suggests, then it'd be difficult, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And were they kind of working outside of Gallifrey separately then? Because we know full well that,
for instance, I think you'll find, Craig, it's Gallifrey.
Because if you go back to Genesis the Daleks, the Doctor was sent then to destroy the Daleks. Was that an operative of the division? Because normally Time Lords wouldn't interfere with something like. You can begin to find potential links if you want to, but
I didn't get, maybe I missed it, but have they destroyed the universes before? How many times has this been?
Well, this is what they're saying. It's a reset. This is what they were.
How many times have they done that?
We don't know.
So what do you reckon is going to happen then?
Spider-Man comes in.
I actually don't know. I don't know.
I suspect that the Earth will not be. The universe will be shrunk and shrunk and shrunk until it just surrounds the Earth. And I think that is going to somehow end up in the second universe, and all the people inside the passengers will populate all the planets and shit. And so it's technically a reset. Well, I think we'll call it the Russell T Davies universe if you want.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
What Cliff says about whether they've done this before, they might have done this before because their control center is outside the universes.
Well, no, they have
Right,
said
so-
they've said
No.
they've said it's been done before. Time and Flux has been deen before. They said that already. Not in this episode, but previously. It's not a new thing. It's a reset. That's they've touched on that a couple of times.
Oh, I did see one thing which I'm not sure. Hopefully, they expand on. The other universe, he says, is the end of the wormhole where you're from.
Yes.
Now that must be I'm thinking that's not going to be anything tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Next week. That's not going to be the end. I think that's going to hopefully be part of this 3 specials search for that. Because why I just mentioned it, I know it was a little carrot in front of her to try and get her to come her way, but I'm hoping they investigate that more.
I think that'd be cool. It'd be a bit sort of Discovery or Voyager. Like going so far or into a completely new world where you kind of press a reset button, you can start again.
And I suppose taking the Daleks, the Cybermen, the Sontarans, they've got 3 of the Big East adversaries. They're taking over to the new universe.
And if they take Earth over, then you've got basically the entire cast list of Doctor Who there, and you can just carry on making Doctor Who.
Yeah.
When you go
and
out,
a reset for Russell T Davies.
With different adversaries.
It's got a reset
and a different
somehow for
Doctor.
the person. Yeah. Exactly.
It could be that. That's quite a cool idea, isn't it?
I don't know that Chibber's final season would have been done with a view to starting off on New Doctor, particularly. But I think I think it might have something to do with it. We'll have to see.
Well, he did say at the beginning, didn't he, that both him and Jodie agreed 3 years with each other in principle. So therefore, he would have known that when he went, there would have been a new lead writer and a new Doctor.
He would have had to have liaised with Russell T Davies thing, because as soon as he found out that Russell T Davies was taking what, they'd have to liaise and say, right, how do you want this presented to you when you start? Because they don't just, here's what I do, and fuck whatever comes after. They will have to liaise.
Yeah, they've got to carry it.
They'll have to work out between them the crossover. There needs to be a handover. And I think I'm not sure that this is it. I think that will be the specials.
Yeah.
Well, there is rumor, isn't there? I can't remember the finer details. I've read it a couple of times now. That the kind of Bad Wolf Productions that have been taken over have put in for a license of the Whoniverse or whatever. And Russell T Davies has been talking about how he wants to kind of Disney-fy things.
Multiverses
in the sense that,
are going to be big.
Well, right. But now you've mentioned the bad word. So that's one thing that pissed me off, particularly the first time, was multiverse, because I fucking hate. I'm not a bit Marvel is to me a bit shit.
It's not Marvel. It's
but as soon as I got that multiverse thing, I was like, oh, give me little shudders of fuck off.
But it could just be different things. So you could have like Unit as a distinct TV program. He did it with Sarah James.
I know, but I'm fucking. Me personally, I'm sick of this watered down shite that they put, like Marvel and people that put out all the fucking time.
Yeah, you've got to stop. You've got to stop equating multiverse with Marvel.
I know, but
it's an entirely based scientific idea of what.
But I suppose, but they did that.
It's Marvel that nicked it, so Doctor Who's nicked it too.
Yeah, I don't know. I was like,
and it does open up a whole new possibility of what to do with the Doctor.
To bring other characters back if they wanted to.
We could do everything.
Because in the move, time could have got distorted.
It is the ultimate reset. It is the ultimate reset to say here's a multiverse and allows them to bring it.
I'm not 100% convinced it'll happen.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, though.
I think knowing they've got the presence there allows future stuff to start incorporating more ideas,
or even the ability to move between the 2 universes and explore one whilst going back to the other if they don't want to destroy it.
Oh, they could just leave Universe 1 with the Earth in it, and then they just get everything from Universe 2 and shove it in Universe 1 again and repopulate it again.
Yeah.
Well, we'll find out next week, won't we?
Will
definitely find out. All right, are we going to? Oh, Suki, have you got something to say?
No, I thought you was about to go to final notes.
I was he's giving me the finger then. All right. No, I've got the 2 words. Yeah. 2 words for this episode. We're going to John first.
I'm going to say optimistic hope.
There you go.
Nice. Bob?
You're not allowed to do any final thoughts anymore. It's just 2 words, apparently.
Well, yeah. Have you got? Well.
Oh yeah, fucking hell, forgot that bit.
Oh wow!
Oh shit, I'm so shit.
No,
It's the first time I did it.
It's fine.
Leave him
It's
alone.
fine.
Leave him
We
alone.
don't care anymore.
We can mix
do what we
it up.
want. We
Mix
can,
it
yeah.
up.
Cliff,
Do
you are
your
in
final-
charge. You're the hostess
Yeah.
tonight.
Do your final thoughts and do your 2 words. That's what we'll do. So
Yeah,
that's what we're doing
Final thoughts,
anyway.
2 words. Yeah,
Yeah.
back
Or
to John.
add something else if you want. Just go for it. Just add a new segment.
We can
Why
have a
not?
musical segment where we start singing.
Why don't we just play like this is an idea. Why don't we play 3 prog songs during the
No, that sounds proper.
show?
Should we up the banter level as well?
Let's have
No,
some
my
more
final-
cocks
my
and
final-
balls in it.
My final thoughts is this episode was not the best, but because it is being it's the building blocks for the next episode. And it was still packed full of good stuff. It wasn't without its flaws, but I'm optimistically hopeful about next week.
Wait, Bob.
Yeah. Just come on. That's all I've got really for next
nice.
week. I've been burnt before, as Who fans have with finales. But
Don't get your expectations.
No,
so high,
no,
man.
and because it's Doctor Who and I'm fucking weird and I absolutely obsess and love this show. Like I can't watch it with the people if they breathe and make a noise because I just get mad and it's completely irrational and whatever. But it's just the way I'm wired with Doctor Who. So that's why. But every time I've done it, every time I've done this with the finales before, I always go back and watch the box set when I used to get it for Christmas.
And you love it.
Yeah, because it's like I suppose it's kind of like making an album or making something. When you're in it, you're very like fucking just turmoil all the time. It's stressful and horrible. And then a year later, you can sit back and listen to it and go, "Fucking hell, that was all right." That and that's what I've definitely done with Jodie's Doctor Who. And every Doctor Who season, I've sat back and watched it. When it doesn't matter anymore because it's not there, it's not on telly, it's not live, and I kind of know what happens. And I've got loads more out of it. So it doesn't matter. He said, I'm trying to convince myself it don't matter. It's just sit back and enjoy it.
I think you should wait for your final decision until after you watch the entire 6 in a row.
I can't wait.
Then you'll probably find your mind's been slightly blown.
If I didn't have busy life I would sit back and watch all 5 of these ready for Sunday.
Well, that'd be nice.
But I'm not going to have time.
You're going to save that to the box set when you buy it.
Yeah,
really enjoy it.
I love stuff. But it's now. I thought it might be out before Christmas, so my mum could buy me.
It is, isn't it? I think you can pre-order it.
January, it's out.
Well, that's because they want obviously the Blu-ray collectors of season Tom Baker, whichever one it is, and the Galaxy 4 one is a potential Christmas present.
All them, haven't we? So
I have got them, but they're not being. Santa's bringing them.
Oh, see, Santa's the big hairy man's going to come empty his sack in your house.
He is indeed, but he's going to empty his sack, and in the sack will produce these DVDs and Blu-rays. It's difficult to pass. I
won't be telling you when I'm coming, Craig. Come on.
Go on, Craig. Your turn. Final thoughts in 2 words.
I'm still seeing this as kind of as a book. It's chapter 5 of 6. I think you get to that point just before the finale when things get complicated. It feels like there's an awful lot going on. How is it going to resolve? And that is exactly how I think most people are feeling right now. We are just on the cusp of the wave. It's going to come next week. It's setting us up with questions. It's setting us up with tension. It's setting us up with people where they need to be. So it is that point of the book where you're gripped, but you're getting a bit, what the fuck is going on here? Am I losing the plot, even though we're not? So I just think this has been truly awesome so far. I really do. I do think next week has a lot to deliver. This was exactly what I thought it was going to be. I think at the end of last week's podcast, I said, or maybe just in the chat, I can't remember, I've got a feeling it's going to be very much timey-whimey. And that's what it was to me. So I really enjoyed it. In fact, my thing is, it's totally innovative. They're my 2 words, totally innovative. Good story.
Brilliant.
Wait till next week.
Well done. And Stucky.
My 2 words are going to be wonderful performance.
And final view. Final thoughts.
My 2 words are going to be wonderful performances. And from there, my final thoughts is that it's, as we've all been saying, it's a fifth episode of a 6-part story, and things are going to get either sorted and finished next week. And the only way, you've got to be able to go through all these 5 episodes to be able to get to that 6th one and understand everything that's going on. So this week, this episode, has built on some of the stuff that's happened in the past few episodes, and now it's going to you're now left with the bits where you just want to be able to find out exactly what's going on next week. So I am looking forward to next week. This week, right? It's just giving me more questions, more just more questions basically.
I think it's one of those things like if you were to watch half a film and then say I didn't understand it because you didn't really watch half of it.
No.
A lot of people. No. I'm not saying you are, but I've seen a lot of people that have been complaining that they don't understand it.
Yeah,
but I mean, it's like unless they're not thinking, unless they're thinking or they're in the episodic mindset.
And I bet some of those people are those that have said the last two series have had not enough elements, so it's been too simplistic and not much complexity. So now it's not.
Nobody's happy.
Who cares what the people think? We're talking about what we think.
I absolutely love this series. This whole Chibnall era has been genius for me.
I am loving this series. I am really loving the way this series has gone. Really am. It's just I cannot wait for it to finish next week. I want that final episode because of everything that's built up towards that final episode. It's just built my anticipation up for it. I want to see this final episode, which I think will finish the story off in style.
So how many lights out of 5 is that?
None.
No.
Well, my last views is I love the way that he shook it up, Doctor Who. It's nearly 60 years old. He could have been going down a similar path. He needed someone to shake it up a little bit, and he has. And a lot of fans have either kept on board or fell apart of it. And this season of his, I started pulling his elements and the new future for Doctor who could last another 60 years, hopefully, because you needed new avenues, you needed new doors opening. And this episode, it felt to me, my 2 words are spaghetti junction. It felt a little bit all over, but I loved it, and I love spaghetti, and I can't wait to next week. But that's my two words and my thoughts. And the last bit, let me get this right. I've got it written down. We're going to move over to Socky and his crew for the feedback.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Is that all right? Yay.
Spot on, Mr. Sheps.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Oh, we've got any audio feedback to say that as well?
No, there's no audio feedback.
No, we don't do that shit.
Dwayne's